So when I first met with the curator, Cheryl Edwards, to discuss her ideas for the design and layout of the exhibition, one thing, Cheryl's very open. She wanted something that she thought really emphasized the work. We've moved this exhibition, which was originally planned for a museum gallery space with multiple rooms, and the need was to adapt it to a much more open floor plan. So Cheryl and I sat down and we looked at exhibitions that she liked, that she had recently seen, including the Elizabeth Catlett show at the National Gallery of Art, among others. And these are some shows where we were just talking about how to include a variety of sculptural works among many paintings. And this work includes over 40 works. Many are large, and we have limited space. So it took a lot of sort of sorting to figure out how we could break that up and make it seem like these were discrete, maybe chapters within the exhibition. But we made a deliberate choice to not have the exhibition be grouped around the themes that are present in the catalog. So the catalog goes more into an interpretive way of looking at how works are grouped along various themes that Cheryl had distilled in her curatorial part. And instead, in this case, she left me the task of trying to figure out how to regroup the works to fit the space, but also have a logic and a coherence as someone moved through the space. So with that, that's why we've chosen to group some works that are along kind of thematic, the most immediate thematic dimensions. So things like abstraction or portraiture, more of a mid-century to a Caribbean and African grouping. These were just loose, but it felt good, and I think made the visual flow of the exhibition easy to discern. And the color groupings were designed to give people a sense of visual identity to the various groupings in the show. We started with some choices about color, layout, and design. My first choice was to pick a color scheme, and in this case we're using some walls that are black, a wall that is kind of midnight blue, but we chose the black to start the exhibition partly because the two works that you see when you come into the gallery, one by Alma Thomas and another by John Beadle, both have the title referring to the moon within the works. And I thought the black, which is a color that sort of talks about the cosmos, it's a very open color, also the color of night. On the back side of this wall, there's also kind of the ancestors that Cheryl talks about in her program, which include artists like Elizabeth Catlett, David Driscoll, among others. And these kind of are the background for a lot of the works that you see. I've grouped the show into a group of artists that are dealing primarily with abstraction, from color field to Afro-Cobra, some elements of abstract expressionism, as well as different forms of abstraction that were important to the artists in this show. We separated this main part of the exhibition with this wall that we painted blue, kind of in a parallelogram. The parallelogram I thought was interesting to emphasize kind of a forward-leaning design. The works in 4 portraits, as well as one sculpture that I consider in this room, are kind of contemporary portraiture. And these emphasize, Amy Cheryl, who is a very important artist, as well as Nelson Stevens, with a kind of portrait homage to Stevie Wonder, among others. And this is kind of just bringing personality to the figures in the show. And then moving into this section, which is a group of works that I think is primarily picking up on themes of African art, migration, as well as artists that are from the Caribbean. The main exhibition element in this is we've devised these kind of funky green tables, which the design choice was kind of looking at something. I thought the green needed to be something that emphasized a kind of ground, or in this case, the shape is referencing a leaf, but also possibly a boat or an island, but as a way to kind of unify quite disparate artistic practices around this theme of colonialism, the land. There's some aspects of transatlantic slavery that are represented in the works in the show, as well as artists just dealing with the Caribbean, what it means to be maybe an artist of African heritage coming from this part of the world and how they relate to the concept of America.